Why do you scream at me? Why do you think that it's free? It's not a choice made by me. Once will fall, soon you'll see. When I looked into your eyes, I can see we need to change our lives. Let me in, then we both win. But not knowing that you're killing me. This silence, this building, tearing me fearfully. This silence, this building, tearing me. I'm screaming. These walls have broken memories, but still hold all the history. One brick breaks, one cracked line, pieces crumble in my mind. But when I looked into your eyes, I could see we need to change our lives. So let me in, then we both win. But not knowing that you're killing me. This silence, this building, tearing me fearfully. This silence, this building, tearing me. I'm screaming. Holes in the walls, screaming at me. Holes in your walls, screaming at me. Holes in my walls, screaming at me. Holes in the walls, screaming at me.
Welcome to Canucks with Guitars. I'm Ben, he's Trev. Missed the scream on the last turnaround. Had to wait for another verse. Wait for it to come around. Do it again. Precision or something. Still. Welcome to Canucks with Guitars. We're presented by the following people. We're presented by on the ticker and on the merch. And we're waiting on Pete. He's deep in the bowels of his studio, up to his armpits in pedals and products that he's demoing. And he leaves town in 9 days. So hopefully he will be with us shortly. Happy New Year. I see people saying Happy New Year. We already got quite the crowd in here. We've got Hit Metalworks, Randy Upchurch, Elberge. Good to see you. Welcome over to the channel. JP Page 2. Dan of New Jersey. Guitar Man 45, a.k.a. Bo. Brother Aaron from Albus Band. Great to see Aaron here. John Duchesne. Good to see John in here. Michael Easter, Josh Tannenberg, Keith Campbell, Thomas Santiago. I'm hearing three-part harmony in my head. Perfect. Absolute Mayhem. Ferd Burfel, Paul McNary, and the Cats. Gary Davlin, super fan, for those who don't know, just saying. Travis Barris, Michael Krause, Under the Bus Network. Great to see you guys. Official and everything. My lovely sister Amanda. The Wild Man Ryan Hall.
Yep.
Just wild man. LRM Guitars. Wild, but not as wild as Ryan. And, you know, that's according to Dennis Ellis right there in the chat. What's up, Dennis? Terry's Triple G's. Great to see Terry in here, as always. Moderator to the stars. And me. Who else? Octopus Ears, Cushman, NYC, Michael B. Live. Hey. Paul Leonard Ewing, Stompbox Steels. Awesome. Billy Baloney. Patrick Traits. Randy Upchurch. Unfucking believable. Nice. Who else? Early. I think I saw Zach Thong here super early. Yeah. As usual. He gets right down front. He's like first through the door all the time. Surfer B. Awesome. James Hawking. Yes, so we're waiting on Pete to jump in shortly. Christopher Live-Sow is here. Modern Vintage.
Christopher's.
Sean Pierce Johnson, the Sean Pierce Johnson, who I actually have to talk to. I need to get Sean on again, Trev. Because I need to pick on his noodle, much like I did.
Wasn't that one of the Monday options, perhaps?
Monday, Sunday, whatever works for Sean.
I guess you're right.
I shall text him soon in the soons. Rob Baker's here. Nice. Richard Knoll. Nice. And others joining in. So yes, we're hopefully... Did he see the link yet, Trev? No, has not seen the... You know what? He could be literally in the midst of trying to wrap something up. He's just like, just gotta nail this last part. Marshall Murray knows exactly what I'm talking about.
Yep. Blackjack Guitar.
Unbelievable, lost the stream. As Under the Bus Network, Wednesday evenings, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. Trev and I are both fans.
I wonder who's pushing the buttons there on that. Is that Boner Jams? Is that Kurt? Is that Jay? Is it Kate?
Could be any of them. I don't know. Rico B, who missed last night's show, and he's like, dang it. Eric Warrington, too. Trev, you were asking last night, after the show, you're like, we didn't see Eric in the chat. Commented on it. He's, dang it, caught up in stuff. I'm like, it happens.
Yeah.
I get it.
Busy time of year. Things will start
winding
down.
Just Sean's sitting here messing out with his best of 2022 list. Nice.
Well,
Guitar Man 45 wants one of these shirts. Yep. Available at flipsidemusic.com. Affiliate link down below. It's Kurt running. He's driving the bus.
Kurt will appreciate this. He likes his bullet bourbon, barrel proof, 120 proof, baby. This one's for you, Kurt.
It's got a tone cork in it, even.
It does.
Surf Me just finished meditating. Well, we can undo all that Zen real quick.
That's a good thing or a bad thing before a show?
So it is January 2nd, and I do have to report, Trev, I already have a pedal in the house that wasn't here a week ago.
There we go. It's starting.
For those who may or may not have seen it, I got a lovely boxing from Pedal to the Metal Guitars, including, it's here.
That's right.
This new pedal stand for demos. It's a prototype. I'm not sure yet. It gets a little tipsy because it also how does a fella get? Oh, right, the button. Right. Ooh, it lights up. Can't see it worth crap right now because there's lights on. So here, let's turn off the direct light there. There we go. Yes.
Canucks. That'd be us.
Blackjack Guitars here.
Yep.
And that'll be coming as part of the upcoming pedal demos. May or may not incorporate it into the existing tone stand. We'll see. I'll have to figure that out. As well as a variety of picks, which is good because I was getting kind of low in picks. Well, not really, but a fella can never have enough picks.
Right.
How are you? I thought I turned you off. How are you still on? Right. I am not open for business. I do not need to put on the red light tonight.
There's Zach is back. Keith is in the house.
Nice. Keith Campbell in the house. And then, yes, and the tribute decals to EVH available, which are always cool. And the original, the pedal. I got a pedal, which I assume it's based on another pedal because, as far as I know, this company does not actually design pedals. They clone. So, being that it's the year of the Octave, whoa, I'll be dipped. We got an Octave pedal in the mail.
So it's official.
It's a demo. I didn't even notice that. Apparently, it was a demo. All right. Demo from who? It's a demo product. I don't know what that means. Does that mean it came from another YouTuber? Well, yeah. Brad Guitar Miller. He's a member of YouTube community. Therefore, he's a YouTuber. He puts out videos. And it's been put through its paces. And as you notice, it's back in the box for now. I guess it's similar to one of the Boss ones, Trev. I don't know.
Probably think. Yeah.
Oh, there's Brad Guitar Miller. we're waiting. Well, for those joining in, maybe punctuality helps Brad, as I explained.
He's getting tied up at customs. We're still working
3 times already. Yeah, he's held up at customs. We're waiting on him. He's in the studio. Typically on display for demo use in a store. Thank you, Aaron. I need that thing. The more you know. The more you know. Right. I need one of those. All right. So, worry about that after the show, Ben. We'll worry about that for next week. So, I've tried it. Does not track well, so that means it's not polyphonic. It's monophonic, or I don't know, phonic, some kind of phonic. But I do enjoy it. It's interesting because it's got 2 octaves down, and traditionally I only use 1 octave down. So this got 2 octaves down, which I was using less because you turn up the 2 octaves down, and to a certain point, your speaker's going. I'm a guitar amp. I'm not a PA speaker. I'm not a bass cab.
Don't have that kind of hertz.
Yeah. I can't do all the frequencies. I can do some of the frequencies. So, yeah. Which means I don't know. Maybe we'll have to put that off for 2024. Already looking ahead to 2024, Trev, could be the year of the speaker because the 2x15 cab needs speakers. The 3x12 needs speakers. And besides, who doesn't want to hear a Garnet 312? I don't ask me how I'm wiring that up. I don't know how to wire that up. That's a question for Dave Friedman. He goes, I don't know how you Canucks design that stuff. So, and it's not like I can call up Garnet and ask, hey, how do you call up Garden? He was like, hey, how do you wire up your cabs? Like, I don't know. We went out of business 30 plus years ago. I'm like, oh, well, thanks. I only know one guy that plays through Garnet, and he only uses the Garnet Herzog head as a tone junction because all points lead into that and then back out to other stuff. And that'd be Gordy Johnson from Big Sugar. How does he get that tone? Garnet Herzog.
Cool. Good to know.
Elbarge needs a 25-inch Celestian speaker. Ooh, 2x25s. That's like all the diameters. What's up, Braxel?
That's going to move some air.
Johnny Love? Has the weather improved in Canada now? Yes.
Much.
There is next to no snow. There's just little sporadic bits here and there, but it's basically all gone, melted because then it rained. But it's been consistently above freezing now for 72 plus hours, which is great. I am not complaining. Well, it's a little achy in the joints because it's right above freezing and damp all the time. So that's
welcome to BC.
Exactly.
Although it's been 2 days without rain here, so that's a nice break.
Yeah, I get it. Being Great Lakes adjacent, I get it.
I don't know. Kurt's getting snow, so that means there may be some coming.
You can have it. Billy says it's going to be 65 in Ohio tomorrow.
Pretty good for Ohio in January, isn't it?
I do, Keith. It's true. Ben is the only one I know who uses the devil horns instead of hang loose sign as the universal phone hand sign. Yeah. Yeah. Nope. Yeah. You know an easy way to spot a guitar player in a crowd, Trev? Okay. Tell them relax, put their fingers together, because see, that happens. Non-guitar players, they're all symmetrical. Guitar players, huh? And if you know, and how far it is depends on how often they play in the key of F. And especially, and I don't know, maybe younger guitar players, it's not as much. But if you do any kind of rockabilly where you're on and off of the pinky, you're stretching. You're stretching. Hello, Matthew McCosker. 60s past 2 days in Baltimore allowed me to crank out a retaining wall. Whole body feels like it was in a car crash. I bet.
It's a lot of work.
T. Ricky, what's up, buddy? Ferd Burfell's got 74. Good. And I say that, Trev, because I remember a couple of weeks ago, Ferd was complaining because it was colder there than here. And I'm like, that's not... Texas should never be colder than Canada because they're pretty much a whole country across, you know. So,
yeah.
Hey, the legend himself, Quentin Pops James himself. No, we have too much hair. Yeah, thank you, Terry. Putting a link to Pete's channel there. I'll show you some stretchy chords. Jazz Rocks with Adams. New name in the chat. I like that name, Jazz Rocks with Adam.
Yeah.
All right, I have to hang out. This is why I have the chat popped out, because it's such a name that I need to click on go to channel. I want what's up with. I get easily distracted. Let's hope he doesn't have a channel trailer that's going to play. He does too. And I'm already subscribed to Jazz Rocks with Adam. Ha ha! That's where you go. Name. Cool. Welcome, my friend. See, I would have known that, Trev, but lifestyle choices.
Well, small price to pay for peace of mind. Hey, President California Customs, just rolling down.
Ah, okay, Adam. Okay, new name on the channel. Fellow Canuck. Even better. Not that I judge, but, you know, I bet he has a better tube collection than most non-Canucks. Just saying.
Yeah. Part of our
Greg Zeppelin's here.
Great.
Presley California Customs. John uses his thumb for first F. Sure.
You will reach over.
Can you do that and play, you know, dun 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 dun, dun, you know. Pick. Gonna need it. Easy. There we are. River Docks. You know. In F. Yeah, that first to fifth, Trev.
Yeah. I don't think you could do
River Docks has a new video out today on Don Felder. It was quite interesting. Yeah. Not going to give away all the spoilers. I'm just going to say one. Fun fact, when Don Felder was working in a music store in Florida, Trev gave Tom Petty guitar lessons.
Crazy.
And I was like, really? And also took slide lessons from Dwayne Allman. Allman. The band, cool, not the nut. I noticed Ferd Burfle's been lurking over there too, because he beats me to the videos on occasion. I see Ferd's comments on stuff. Just saying. Yeah, really cool stuff.
We'll look that up.
I still mean to get a hold of River Docks as well about coming on. Watched his video about stuff coming and stuff, right? And I know weekends are family time for him, so maybe a Monday hang with River Docks instead of Sunday. Don't want to interfere with the Sundays necessarily. Aaron likes almonds. So do I. They're a joy. Presley loves that Axis. Thank you. So do I.
My favorite's got to be a cashew, though.
Pretty much my 1B at this point. Somehow my Mim Telly is still my number one. I don't know why, Trav. Maybe it's just the amount of miles on it.
Yeah, man, it's the vibes.
Yeah.
Guitars got vibes. They speak to you differently.
Philly G Guitar Man's in here. Snuck into the point where I saw Terry saying hey to him.
There you go. Pistachios are good too, John. Yeah. A lot of work, though.
Yes, Guitar Man. Being a Detroiter, I'm like a half cousin. Yes, especially when you look north to Detroit from Windsor.
Right.
Our neighbors to the north, America.
Yeah.
Here we go. Yeah, exactly. We'll do that. Yeah. Hey, Labor Drive Studios, who has a new video out as well. Not saying local collab with Labor Drive Studios artist Ben Thompson paired up with Jason, and they did a cover of 1979 that kicks some tail. Just saying.
Right on.
Which is a great tune. Murray says all this tele talk makes me want one. Well, I could show you one to make you drool.
Yeah.
Just saying. I could.
You almost got me convinced. I should get a Tele.
Elbar says, I've never liked a Tele neck, just my opinion. That's fine.
And the
I
way of
assume you
radius,
don't also like Strat necks then, because they're basically the same thing. I say basically because the heel is different, although you never touch it, but it is different.
Mm-hmm.
Are you even a guitarist if you don't own a Tele? Ooh, bold statement. Well, unbelievable. Fortunately, you have another Tele in the process of being assembled, kind of thing. Yeah, I like the fact that Charles has gone into in that. For those who don't know, Charles 75N, check out his channel. He's gone into production mode now, Trev. When he's routing out multiple guitars at once, I'm like, that's production line stuff. That's factory. So we got the fabric factory going on. It's okay. It's more Teles for the rest of us if you folks don't like Teles. But that's what I'm saying. I think you should probably see a doctor, but I'm just saying, it's okay. There's guitars that I don't like, and you folks can have them. That's fine. Hip says Tele Explorer, same thing. Ooh, a Tele with 8 through 38s on it. I've debated that. My sister doesn't like hollow bodies. Okay. Ooh, somebody has... Guitar Man 45 has 2 Teles in the works. Should be ready in 3 to 4 weeks. Does this sound like production is starting to commence a bit here, Trev?
Maybe.
Step 1 of global takeover, getting some prototypes put together. I get it. Okay. That's fine. Eddie Fay.
No, Eddie, I did not. Waiting for the price to come down, and then it did, and I missed the gun. That was the Hamer, I believe.
Michael Krause only owns 1 Tele. One's fine.
So yesterday we were saying you got to have at least 1 Floyd, and now we're saying we got to have a Tele. So I'm going to get a Tele with a Floyd. How's that grab?
It's fine. It's a stepping stone. I'll give you that, Trev. And then eventually you will need, a standard 2 single coil, just an actual Telecaster, not just a Telecaster shaped object. So that's okay, because like I say, my number one is it's got humbuckers in it.
Yeah.
But with the coil tap. Well, it's like our friend Tom was talking about paring down some gear this year, and I'm thinking, well, one of those 3 guitars should be a Tele. Just saying. A gateway Tele, exactly, John Duchesne. A gateway Tele. That's the plan. That's the plan, John. I don't need to convince John because John knows. He's like, it's nice to have that arrow in the quiver.
I've had John's Tele on my lap.
Does not need to be made by Fender, Elbarge. There's something about that body shape and design, that combination.
Ergonomics.
It does a thing. It does a thing. That's why I have single coil Teles, humbucker Tele, E90 Tele. If I played a Tele, Eddie Faces, if I played Tele, I'd be dreaming I could play like Danny Gatton. Well, we all have to dream, right? I dream I could play like Johnny Hyland maybe one day. I was checking, did Charles grace us with his presence yet? Usually if we talk about him enough, he'll put down the wet sanding.
And burning. I haven't seen him.
I don't know. Hey, Squire Telecaster. Speaking of Telecasters, hey, Squire Telecaster.
Some of theirs were burning.
That's when the answer to the question, does it have to be a Fender Telecaster? No, it can also be a Squire. Playing my Tele makes me feel like I'm in the Clash, Patrick Trite says. Sure. Billy Baloney dreams he could play it. Greg Koch. Yep.
Do you think again or this? This is just right up my alley.
Oh,
Does that count?
Oh, hang on. How does a fellow? There we go. Oh, that is borderline. That is borderline.
It's definitely a telly-shaped object.
No, I don't know, but definitely that body shape. He that lower bout is really carved out. Even the upper is smaller, and then that whole relief system.
And then all this. I guess it doesn't really matter with the lock nut.
No, I'm okay with that. Oof. It's got 24 frets too. I don't know, Trev. Is it even a bolt-on neck? It's probably a set neck too.
Let's see. There's a picture of the back of it here. Nope.
Yep.
Ooh, look at that cut.
That is at most a Telecaster shaped object. At most. Ooh. I like kind of the bus network. That lower horn can't be taken on a plane.
No doubt.
Yeah, that's pretty stabby looking. I'm not sure.
Super jumbos, 13.78 radius.
That's barely in the same neighborhood. That's kind of in not even the same part of town. You're in the same town.
That's my stepping stone. That's my
Doug Strong?
My gateway telly.
My other cousin Doug Strong.
Hey, Doug.
It's funny, I was hanging out over at Mr. Mark Taft's today, and I mentioned the name Doug in reference, and he says, Cousin Doug or Doug Strong? Yep. I'm down to wanting 2 guitars right now, so one is believable. Ooh, what? Hang on. Breaking news. My sister says, oh, Ben, and chat, Michelle, my bestie, was given a 97 Ovation Elite Celebrity. What's that all about? Tell me what you know. All right, I think I know what all right, I gotta look it up to confirm. Ovation Elite. Actually, Trev, why don't you bring it up?
All right.
Then we can share
on
it better. Celebrity.
Share with the rest of the class. 97. Do I need to put that in there? Did already.
I don't think you do. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Huh. Interesting.
Of course, it moved. Get back here.
All right, what tab are you on? There you are. It is an acoustic. Yeah, I didn't think it was, what do they call that? A breadwinner, bread fan, breadboard, something to do with bread. I don't know. Stealth Parrot has one. He says it's their lower end model. Okay, I kind of thought it because I saw some brief prices and they weren't in the thousands. They were in hundreds.
Close to 1,000.
But it is an Ovation. It's not an Applause, which is okay. So, but pretty nice looking. I can't play Ovations myself. I had one for a while. Slide out from under me all the time with the fiberglass eggshell back thing. I don't know. It's round.
Yeah. Are those tone holes? All those little holes in there?
Yeah, all those holes are tone holes, so it has all the tones. Adam says Leo got it right the first time. He did.
Yeah.
Really did. Doug Strong comments his first acoustic was an Ovation. Yeah. So the Ovation Elite Celebrity, it's got the dual sound holes. Yeah. I assume made overseas. At the price they are. Elite Ovations, performance, mid-depth acoustic electric. Okay, well, and I think most Ovations are acoustic electrics these days because Mazel. And I'm curious to hear this. I have not heard an Ovation in a long time. It'd be interesting to try and play.
Revisit that.
But if you want it set up and cleaned up, I'm sure you know somebody. Yay.
Let's see where it's.
Well, I don't know how much of a setup you can do, but they do slide off your lap. Yes, Stealth Parrot. I always found you end up playing, lap style. Oh, nice. Her dad owned it and starting to pass his collection on to her. Very cool.
That's cool. Family heirloom gets extra points.
Yeah, Ovations were big in the 70s, and I think they were one of the first to start getting into that electric acoustic thing, Trev. So acoustic performers could perform live without having a microphone, per se,
Sure.
or an actual, just basically an electric pickup in it.
Makes sense.
I'm seeing a lot of Ovation love or hate or indifference in the chat, which is, yep. Oh, speaking of love, hate, and indifference, let's shout out the patrons. Wanted to before Pete gets here. We're still, again, for those tuning in late, we are waiting on Pete Thorne. Hopefully he gets done in the studio sooner than later. Can't tell if he's seen the mess or not. Then again, it doesn't. It says you haven't seen the link yet, Trev, so I don't know if anybody's seen it. So please hit thumbs up and subscribe if you're new. We're here every Sunday and Monday. Sunday nights usually guests, and then we do live Q&A on Mondays. Hence Pete coming on Mondays because he likes doing live Q&A. And plus, he already does a show on Sundays. Can't do two shows on Sundays. What is it, the 50s? And we're doing 2 shows a night, 6 days a week. No.
Header. No double headers.
So if you'd like to become a patron and help support the channel, you can go to the following address and or search for the name on there. It helps if you have a Patreon account, from what I hear, Trev. You should have an account set up first.
Yeah.
But you get a shout out. It's part of the thank you. Channel members also shout out them all the time. But they got toques in their chat, and they're green, and they stand out. That's what I'm saying. These guys, they can be faceless. You don't know. Some are double dippers, so you do know. LRM Guitars, T. Ricky, Guitar Man 45, Cousin Todd Flowers, Doug Strong, Randy Crooks, Mohogany, Fruitcake Tony, Blackjack Guitar, Keith H., Paul McNary, Other Left, Ferd Burfel, JP Page 2, who may or may not be this coming Sunday's guest. We'll see. John ZD351, Brother Bent Tom, Jeff K., Grumpy Mike Guitar, Symmetry, that guy, yep. Gear Junkie 35, Charles Green, unfucking believable, and Paging Dr. Fabric, Charles 75N. Ooh, Head Rush. Sweet. That was like bonus.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Let's see if I missed anything in the chat there. Oh, there's Hitman, Dwight Bailey. Used to be known Dwight Bailey, but now it's Dwight Bailey because I just felt like adding the extra syllable, and he allowed me because that's the kind of guy he is. Hitman.
Another fellow who puts out a lot of content.
Yes, also big shout out to my lovely sister Amanda for having an actual question related to gear and not just a dumb question. Oh, that's fine. That's fine. So, continuing last week, because we got a nice crowd. We got 79 people watching. Awesome. Octave pedal suggestions, folks, since it's the year of the Octave. First of all, does anyone in the chat, other than Aaron, own an Octave pedal? Because I assume Aaron owns one because Aaron owns every pedal. I'm curious, if you do have one, what do you use? And if you do use it, do you like it? And if you don't, why as well? What's up, Fruitcake Tony? Braxel, we are still waiting on Pete. EHX Octavix. We should be making notes here. Pitchfork. Of course, Aaron has several. Perfect. Boss OC3. Okay. The Octavix, is that not a fuzz octave, Matthew? I'm curious. Is that a fuzz octave? Because I'm not interested in fuzz octaves. Because they're usually just a fuzz and an octave up. And I don't. I want just octaves. Although, I'm looking at almost some synthy stuff in a H90. John.
Knew that was coming.
Yeah. Hey, John knew that was coming. Yes, it is. Okay. No, Billy. Now, Billy, you're just being mean. I don't know what's meaner, John's comment or Billy's. Billy's just trolling. I love Billy. You won't like it, and the octave is dial-in ability. Oh, at least you can dial it in. I don't like it too when you have no control. The octave's just there and always on. Why no octafuzz? Because I am very hit and miss on fuzz pedals. I hate most of them with a passion. I tolerate a few, and then there are unicorns in the world. There are some that I like. So, but also I prefer octave downs or an octave boths, which is an octave down and an octave up. I don't want just an octave up. I don't. What am I gonna do, Trev? All I'm gonna do is play the intro to Purple Rain.
Yeah.
Or When Doves Cry. That's it. Yeah, that's it. When Doves Cry. So what's that? A second and a half of shredding with an octave up, and then I'm done.
Yeah. But we did determine yesterday that the whammy pedal is loosely considered the same category.
Yeah. Well, it is considered because I get to be the tie-breaking decider, and also I want one.
Want to try one?
Modelers count, sure. The MXR Blue Box, I have played with one of those. They are incorrigible. Doug likes the octaves. Yeah, good. See Preston Smith's music. Another channel, if you haven't already. Trev, are you subscribed to Preston's channel? I hope you are, because you're a metalhead, and Preston's a metalhead, and he plays some really cool music on his channel. And it's friendly to your time zone. I'm just saying. He's not a morning person, is what I'm saying.
Now, if I push go to channel, does it go? Oh, yeah, okay, it adds a new window. That's good.
I'm curious what Aaron would
I'm sub. Oh, he's got some Y&T in there. Love me some Y&T. Lamb of God. Oh, yeah.
Subbing up. I've been, I'm thinking of subbing up. I was going to put that on the list to look for this year. Sassy Cat's here. What's up, Sassy Cat? That I don't know, Eddie, what Brian may use to get his harmonies. That's a good question, though. LRM says, the thing is, Ben, you only need one octave pedal. I know, but I got to see how it plays with others. And yeah, and the idea is he who wins out amongst all the others ends up rewarded with being the pleasure of being on my pedal board before the others get sold off to reinvest into other gear. Lambert Drive Studios says, I do not own enough physical pedals. Not knowing how many you have, I agree. See what I did there? It's sort of like when I believe you said that pedal board is too big last night, and I said there's no such thing as too big a pedal board.
That's right.
Okay, so here we go. I was looking at the Earthquaker Devices Organizer because it also does the organ thing too, which I kind of dig. So that's a bonus. That came up in last night's discussion. He's like, it's what you want. Or a Walrus Luminary. I don't know the Luminary. I got to check that out. Yeah, Jason, when I was playing with One Day to Live, that was part of my tone, was I had the blended octave down. Always on. And I know you came out and saw us rehearse multiple times. And hell, you recorded one of the albums. Jeff K, plug in your HX Stomp. There's a bunch of octapedals with Jeff, that's easy way out. Come on now. Right. It's supposed to be the year of the octave, and you made it the hour and a half of the octave. Then we got another book. Yeah. Ooh, a Mel 9. I don't know if that counts. It's on my list. Because I want all the 9s. I won't ever have them.
JP just kicked me out of the club.
Motovich says Boss OC3 or OC5 each do something the other doesn't. Anything after OC5 isn't nearly as good. They're both on the radar. Octopus Ears and I were talking about that. You're more than welcome about the shout out, Preston. You deserve it. What else?
Jeff K rolled in.
Or if you don't want to spend as much, the sub and up 3-knob POG are good. Yeah. I think I'll end up with a POG of some kind because they're the most common one you see out there. We shall see. But the key is I'm looking for the unicorn pedal, as I was telling Trev last night. The unicorn is I want it to sound as non-polyphonic as possible, yet still track. Surferbee, the intro to tonight's show. The music I've been using, that's one of our songs from back in the day. I understand what you're saying, Jeff. You're pointing in the right direction, but that's cheating. Which is the Digitech that Pete had on his board, Ryan Hall asks. I don't remember. Could have been Pitch Shifter. I can't remember. The OC5 is polyphonic. I know, but I'm curious, how polyphonic does it sound? Does it sound more or less polyphonic than the Pog? Because the Pog sounds pretty fucking polyphonic. The Behringer does not. The DoD does not. So we currently have 2 octaves in the year of the octave. The Mythos Argonaut is a cool octave effect. You can buy those for short money. True. They're nice. Anything Mythos is nice. Elbar says, I have the bass octaver I use for artificial bass. Yep, that's why I originally got mine. Especially if you're playing like a Judas Priest song, Trev, where you're rocking out like 8th notes on the low E anyways. Might as well click on an octapedal and have the bass kick in with you. Of course, you do it. You got to run through a couple bars first. You're like, easy. And then boom, and then you kick in. All right. Pete has the freak out. Okay, Michael Krause. The Mythos is just an octave up. It is. But it's a nice octave up. But it's probably got some fuzz involved too. Zach says, I'm more of an acoustic player, so I don't really need an octave pedal. Are you sure, Zach?
Don't knock it till you try it.
Because I was watching some ambient guitar the other day that was done on acoustic. But guess what, Trev? He was still using modulation delays and reverbs on it. And it sounded awesome. Because he's just in a room like we're in, except it sounded like he was in a theater. I was just like, ooh, spatial. Rock Daddy in the house.
Cheers, Rock Daddy.
I'll FaceTime you and show off the organizer to you. I already know since you can set both a choir and how far behind the notes track, you'll love that the most. Yes. So somebody brought up that pedal last night, Aaron, and so before bed, I don't know, I may have watched 7 demos on that pedal, including watching Shane from In the Blues' his demo, which was kind of interesting because he's not the kind of guy I would think that would necessarily demo one. So it was interesting because it was a different take on it. Browns fan. All right, now I got to scroll up because John just quoted 950 on Reverb for something. All right, so what was Modern Vintage talking about that I missed? He says, hey, man, there. All right.
That's moving pretty fast.
King of all ODs, Mostortions are great as well. All right, so but I think it's not the Mostortion. So we scroll back. Just want to get, all right, impressed with it. Fantastic. Okay, yeah. ODR1, perhaps. Okay. I don't know. Maybe it's one of those. I don't know.
We'll try it.
Mostortions. Okay, John, thank you. I don't own one of them. Do I need to own one, John? Is that what you're saying?
At 950?
Oh, I'm not saying I can finance it. Can a fellow borrow one?
Right.
I'm not expecting you to ship it all the way across Canada, John. I'm just asking Trev to borrow it off you because he's local, and then he can ship it across Canada.
That's great.
All right, Cushman's got to go walk the dog. I don't know if he literally has to walk the dog or that's a slang for something.
Got to go see a man about a horse.
Yes, and for those tuning in, we are still waiting. Hopefully, Pete Thorne will join us soon.
Yep.
If not, we can still work. I'm not going to hold it against it. We know any of you folks that know and follow Pete, we know how busy he is right now. And he even said yesterday he's going to try to jump on for part of it. So we're hoping. I had the ODR1. They're cheap. That's the Nobles, isn't it? Nobles ODR1. Always heard good things about that. I've never tried one, but I've always heard good things. Nesdal had one for ages. A few. Yes. He's trying to. Pete's trying to catalog a bunch of demos so when he goes out on tour, he still can put out content. so
Got some library
YouTube
built
doesn't
up.
screw them.
Keep the algorithm stimulated.
Yeah. All right. What do we got? Ben, they make a modern production version that is great as well for about 200 MSRP. If you'd like to try that vibe. Interesting. Okay. So it's a modern take on the Moss Store. Now, who did the Moss Stores? And is that Nobles as well? I don't know. Are those the same? I got to find this stuff. Pete! Where are you? Pete would know this. Again, if you're tuning in, please subscribe. We do have a lot of fun here. Give us a chance. That's what I'm saying. Oh, you're one, the other green pedal. Exactly. Anyone ever heard of barefoot pedals? I have. Right, Aaron? I've heard of them. Yeah. I think we saw them at NAMM. They only had a few, I think. Or am I thinking barefoot? No. Moss Distortion was Ibanez. Right. Really? ODR ones? Like, isn't it a smaller version now, John? They do a smaller ODR one as opposed to. It's not that much smaller, but for some reason they do a smaller one. If I'm not mistaken, I don't know. Yes. Okay, so I was correct on that one from Aaron. Perfect. Wampler Bell is a good take on the Nobles. Interesting. Ooh, Guitar Man 45 has also found an 89 Strat Plus. Might snag on it. Octopus Ears. Did I say hello to Octopus Ears as well?
I think we did.
I think so.
If we didn't, we're doing it now.
He got me thinking about the year of the Octave, too. Well, that and you know what really did it that wanted me to revisit Octave pedals? I'm not going to lie. Is the outro to Drop Dead Legs, the outro solo.
Love that song.
Right? And I'm just, he's digging in. And I need an Octave pedal to dig in like that's digging in. And then next year, maybe will be the year of the flanger. I don't know. I also need to talk to Aaron about that German phaser that he has that's like $300 US. Because for some reason, I'm convinced myself that I need to have that in my life without ever even hearing it.
Is you phaser?
Because I think he says stereo in, stereo out, tap tempo with all the phasers in it.
For something like that not long ago.
Modern Vintage mentions RC boosters are equally important and great. They just reissued them, and you can find original ones for about the same price. So I did that before the price go up. Interesting. Octopus here says, I have a barefoot Uber Bee showing up tomorrow. Orthani was playing a honeybee at Norm's.
See, so she rubbed off on him, so to speak.
Yeah, I think I saw. Barefoot, it really rang a bell because I think I saw a business card from them around here recently. The Honeybee OD and the Emerald Green. Right. Also, I think I need to get a Greer Lightspeed. Because, they've made 1 million of them and sold them all. So I should probably get one of those at some point, too. See what John Shane has to say about that. I know Aaron will totally say, yeah, boy, get one. Because it's Greer. So do I, Braxel.
I'm sure. He's just busy.
Yeah. That's my guess. Hell yes on the Lightspeed. That's what I thought. I want a Timmy as well, Billy. I kind of have a Timmy. I think I've told. Because that's kind of what the Lost Dutchman is. Get one. Okay, Lightspeed. All right. See, I like doing that because Aaron, is from kind of one world and does something. John does something else, and I value both of their opinions a lot. I've come to decide on this a while ago, Trev.
Yeah.
It's like I've got speaker people to talk to, I've got pedal people to talk to, but John is just overall signal chain, and so I do value his opinion. Modern Vintage says it as well. Go for an older one. Okay. Well, see, I'm also I'm the idiot, Trev, I walked into the Greer booth at NAMM the last time I was at a NAMM show. And I went, Greer, I know this name. What, I'm like, what was it that made you famous? And the head dude just points at the banner that says Greer Lightspeed, like 1 million units sold. I went, oh, that makes sense. He says, I was like, thank you. I basically told him lifestyle choices. So, and then he's like, have you ever tried one? And I said, no. So he's like, here's a guitar. For what's your flavor? Single coils or humbuckers? And I'm like, I don't know. Let's go with humbuckers because I assume it's an overdrive. So, all right, into this hand. I'm like, oh, wow, that sounds awesome. He goes, yeah, that's why we sold a lot. Thank you. John says, I know nothing. Sure, John. Sure.
Well, nothing.
Elbar's got a new 2022 Strat. Loves it. He says, making great stuff. Good to hear.
Excellent.
Nick is great. I will say that. Yeah. Don't ask. I know nothing about LPD people. All right. So I already gave one away tonight, Trev. So unbelievable. Because that haunts me. Because Trev. I don't know how much you know.
Yeah.
He does that too, right? Because he lives across town, and he gets stuff to beta test. Because it's easier to send it to him than to me.
Just drop it off, grab lunch, and
yeah. All right, I won't ask. All right, CSS.
Good luck.
Yes. So hopefully, again, if you're tuning in, we're hoping Pete will join us shortly. Or I guess if you tune in, you missed Pete. He was on earlier. No.
Yeah, when you missed it.
So you might as well watch till the end and then watch the replay. No, can't do that. We're hoping.
Still waiting for him to clear customs.
Yeah. So we had I saw a few recommendations for octaves in there, and that's good to know. So
might have to come back to this chat and review some of those. Like say,
well, yeah, that's the nice thing. Yeah. That's burnt into the replay as long as you don't edit the video in any way, shape, or form. What's up, Ron House of Bane? I love that name. Especially because the House of is in quotes, too.
Yeah, that gives it that.
I love it. I love it. Some great names here. Marcia Murray, Sassy Cat, Eddie Fay, Braxel. There's also a pedal called the Big Ear Slice of Pie Fuzz Pedal, and it looks like a slice of pizza. I'm good. Marcia Murray says the internet went out now, so I'm watching 1.5. I get it.
So
catching up.
We're in chipmunk mode. What if we really talk fast? Then how does it go?
We're hoping not. We're hoping not, Brad. And if that's the case, I will adjust the title and such. Half Ace is in the house. Good to see Half Ace.
Cheers. Well, if you were in Pete's stream yesterday, he did say he was coming to get Ben Coombs' show tomorrow. So that was yesterday.
I did also. So I've been dropping some hints in various chats and live streams over the last one. There's 2 guitars that I've narrowed it down to that I want, Trev. And I'm not into buying, a lot of guitars. But there's 2 that I want. One I have a chance of getting this year. The other one I have next to no chance of getting anytime soon. But I want. It's on my. It's at the end of the rainbow guitar. Which doesn't happen often. Well, all right. There is the Gibson ES-175, but that's a pipe dream too. I've just wait. That'll just come to me at some point in life. But again, the folks in the chat guess the 2 guitars that I want. One, you can just say the type of guitar because we'll narrow it down, and the other one you can say it's a brand of guitar because I don't know the exact model of that I want, but there's a brand of guitar I want, and then there's also a type of guitar that I want. How about them Behringer pedals? How about them? There's one sitting right here in the box. I am not secretly getting a Dane Electro. Craig T. Tomlinson in the house. Dean Cadillac is pretty damn cool. And again, if I came across one, I would. Not a PRS. Billy's been into the mean juice tonight, I think.
Didn't get much sleep last night?
Yeah. Billy gets ornery when he doesn't get a full night's sleep. Who cared about last night? Oh, right. Us. Not a Revolta. Not a Novo, although wish. Yes. Gretsch kind of counts, but more that would fall into the type of guitar as opposed to the brand. There's one other banjo and a Sir. No and no. Supro. No. Godin. No. Lots of votes for. Sorry, Ben. It's okay, Billy. I love you still. Framus and a Gretsch. Nope. One will likely be a Gretsch, but it's a type of Gretsch. Not a Gibson Les Paul. Not a Dane Electro. Not an EVH SA120. I don't know what an EVH SA120 is. That sounds like I don't know what that is, but it sounds cool, but no. ES 175 is on the Dream at some point, but no. Got a Duojet. No, not a Reverend. Sorry, Aaron. Not a Reverend. Not a doozy. Got a Music Man. I'm good. No. One I can totally blame on Guitar Man 45. Because Guitar Man 45 went out and got one. Just saying.
Okay, so the EVH SA126 was the one that he was playing. His semi-hollow.
Gotcha.
The 126 is significant, right?
Birthday.
That's January 26th.
Right.
I believe.
Yes. D'Angelico. That'd be nice, but no. Not a Schecter. Not a White Falcon. Need a 335 style. Sure. I do. Not a Guild. Guild's on. Starfire 2 is still like, that'd be on less. It could be a hollow body Gretsch. Yes. All right, we're all right. I'll give you folks that. Okay, so a 12 electric 12, which will likely be a Gretsch, because Mazel. Depending on if it has coil tap abilities, but then there's another brand altogether that I do want. Not a Friedman, not a Carvin, definitely not a Carvin, not an Epiphone.
I'm gonna write my guess down.
Okay. We'll go for a little bit. We won't do this the whole show. Not a Rickenbacker. I like it, Dennis, and you can just put Rick, because I don't expect anybody to spell it Rickenbacker. Not a GNL. What's up, Bozique? Good to see you, my friend. Not a Prestige or a Heritage, although those are both nice. Well, you got the electric 12 guitar, man. That's what I'm saying. So yeah, that's I an electric 12, which will likely be a Gretsch and a hollow body. That's why I say those were close. But the actual brand of guitar that I want, which is basically a dream guitar, Trev, I'm saying, but I'll give one more hint. Stream keeps buffering. People are saying we're getting buffering. Uh-oh. That's not good.
Did see it on that side there. It was a couple of spinny circles.
Not a first act. All right, Trev, what's your guess? No. All right, so the hint is I blame RJ Ronquillo, if that helps.
Okay. Little.
I blame RJ for a lot of stuff in life. It's all good stuff, but I do blame him for stuff. Modern Vintage? There you go. He says Ryan Hall mentioned it. So let's scroll back. Did I miss it? He says Charvel Jackson. No. Not that. 335. No.
Those San Dimas are pretty nice. They speak to me.
They're nice, but
I want to know.
All right. Well, if anyone had mentioned Tyler guitars, they'd be correct. I want a Tyler.
There you go.
Bad.
Oh,
Yeah, Tyler. Yeah, not an eggs. More guitars. Yeah, and Tylers aren't cheap, Trev. We know that. They're. Oof.
yeah, we were looking at those. Aren't we?
Yeah, I think I want to say they're like $5,000 US. So that's what, 7 Canadian.
You know what one?
But they do a thing, and none of my other guitars do that thing, and I want that thing.
Ames Tyler guitar?
Aaron says, "Yeah, and I want to be a wizard." I know. Right, Aaron?
Working on the Gandalf beard. Is that it? Ooh,
Yep.
they look pretty.
Tyler, not Taylor. Tyler.
Yeah, we're Tyler.
Yeah, but not in that kind of finish either. They do some really
USA,
cool.
Japan, finishes, cases. What do we want to look at? USA?
Sure.
So an
Yeah.
Ibanez type.
Go to the one on the left.
This
No,
one?
your other-
Studio Elite?
Yeah.
Ty-
No, I don't want a Telecaster shaped object from them. I do not want that. I want their
This one?
Super Strat. Mm-hmm. And go to the one on the right.
This one?
Yeah. No.
That's a cool headstock.
Alien puke finish. That's what I'm thinking. Something like that.
Are they going to have a price on this webpage?
Yeah, like look at some of those finishes, Trev. Like that one.
Yeah, very woody. I love that. That's very cool.
Yeah, it's all these different colors. And,
Oh, and this one's got a humbucker in it. Yeah, now we're talking.
yeah, they got all this weird, awesome wiring in them, Trev, that does stuff that I don't understand or comprehend.
I guess they don't have prices on this webpage because it depends where you're going to buy them. So let's go back.
I think they're all custom order anyways, and a waiting list.
Is there any used ones available? Something.
I missed your comment, Ryan. The chat's flying. We got 90 people watching. Chat
Holy
was flying.
crap on a cracker. You ready for this?
What?
Oh, where did it go? There.
Oh, yeah.
10 grand.
Yep.
After
Oh,
shipping.
there we are. Not a black.
That's a really, really pretty case.
Oh, they're about 7 to 9K each. Modern Vintage says. Oof. Oof.
American, I'm guessing.
Yeah. Oof. Yeah. Red Schmear Wild West for sale. That's one we got to find. Red Schmear Wild West. Wild West guitars. I'm guessing. Because both Sassy and Modern Vintage mentioned Wild West guitars.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking, President. Oof. Yeah, right? Like, you can buy like 3 good cars for that. For $9 grand.
Get one of these. 12 grand. Black Beauty with Bigsby.
And F-holes?
Right?
No, that's a Les Paul Light or something. That's just wrong. I don't
that's
like
great.
F-holes and Les Pauls. No.
No, that's going to make feedback, isn't it?
Oof. No. More guitars. Thank you very much. Happy New Year, my Canadian brothers of tone. My wife's Canadian, eh? Awesome. I'm from Long Island, but live in the Carolinas. Awesome as well, because it's warmer and less snow. I get it. Now then, favorite Zepp, Floyd, and Who albums? Oof. For Floyd, I'm going to go with Wish You Were Here.
That's good.
Who, I'm going to go with Who's Next. And Led Zeppelin, I'm going to go with Led Zeppelin 2. And the reason for all those choices, those were the first albums by each of those bands that I got. And they were very influential for me to get the rest of the albums by those bands. What are your choices, Trev?
Well, for the Who, I'm kind of looking for it because I don't even know what the album is. But it'd be the one that had that I Can See for Miles and Miles song on it. So I'm sure those who know. Led Zeppelin would be Led Zeppelin 2, of course. And Pink Floyd for me would be The Wall.
Okay.
I'm really attached to that particular movie.
Yeah, The Wall was not as me. Live at Leeds is great. I was
A
thinking
double
about
album,
that.
you can get twice as much for one pick.
Yeah, Who's Next is great.
That's probably the one.
Now, overall with Zeppelin albums, I don't know what now my favorite Zeppelin album is. How's the Holy is good. Physical Graffiti is nice, and it is because of the double album too. I like the choices in the chat here, folks. Yeah, keep them coming. Keep the chat flying. Chat flies. Algorithms help. Yeah. We had 90. We peaked at 93 for a second there. Wow. So for those that are tuning in, we're hoping Pete can join us. He's very busy in his studio, but we're hoping he can make it. He said he was going to make it. Last I heard, he was going to make it.
We haven't heard he's not going to make it. So
yeah, he hasn't messaged me going, I can't make it. I'm sure he's doing his best.
We got Canadiana going here. We got the Crown Royal.
Yeah. Which just means, Trev, we get to guilt Pete once he gets back off tour to do the show. So Mazel Tov, subscribed and the bell won't work.
Yeah, no, the time zones won't work for that, right?
Well, yeah, I wouldn't have one during the tour. It's not like he's playing bar gigs where he gets home at 3 a.m.
I enjoyed those little shows he put on when he was on the road last year.
I love them. Like I love airport hangs.
Restaurant.
Yeah, airport hangs are great. Or he's on the tour bus and some of the other people get involved with questions.
My favorite airport show was with Laz. When Laz was going to Europe and he got stuck at that airport, I think it was in Paris. And he starts playing piano and he's killing it. And people start gathering around and watching him.
That happened. Well, I told you, when we were hanging out at Sean Pierce Johnson's house, he's got the piano downstairs. We're upstairs in his room where he does all the YouTube stuff, and Aaron and Sean and myself and JJ. I think, JJ may have gone downstairs as well. I can't remember. But I start coming downstairs and I hear this beautiful piano music, and I assumed it was Sean's wife, because as far as I know, I don't know if Sean's still in the chat, but as far as I know, Sean doesn't play piano. As far as I know, right? Like, I know him as a guitar player, sure, and I know his wife's musical. So, but I don't know how musical. I know she sings, but I don't know, maybe she plays piano. If there's piano in the house, I assumed it was hers. And there's this Laz, tickling the imitation ivories, and I'm like, what? I'm like, oh, right. I remember him saying he had a keyboard, and he played some keys, but he would talk about, I'm working on Jump. I'm like, well, Jump doesn't seem that complicated, but I'm here, like, this is keyboards when I think, because a lot of it's just chords on a keyboard. And he's all independently tickling and stuff, and I'm like, what the deuce?
Yeah. It's one of my highlights from 22.
Thank you, Modern Vintage. He says, chat members community, both yours and Pete's channel are amazing. Thank you, and all in the chat. Always fun. That's why we do it. Rock gear, so we don't annoy our friends and family outside of this, Trev. They hear all they hear. They don't want to hear it. They don't care. It's just white noise, though. So you come here, you get it out of your system. So we, it's a decompression situation.
We were saying in the chat there last night, where if before all this internet, you went out to a club or a show somewhere or something, I mean, the chances are you're going to run into maybe three other people who are like-minded.
Right.
Here we get
where it's here, the place is full of it.
95 of us sitting in a virtual room.
There's Warcraft. This is the Water Buffaloes Lodge. Like, this is where we come when we meet up every Sunday and Monday, and we hang out, we have fun. And the nice thing is we don't have to drive home afterwards either, or cab it. We're already home. Perfect. Got to grind some before you can pack a bowl, Ben. That's how that works. Right.
Grinder.
East Rich 581 somehow snuck in, and I haven't said hi to him.
Maybe Rich.
Elbar says, where's my special hat? Well, you need to click the join button And then after a month of being a channel member, you get a tone toque next to your name. That's how that works. Which, speaking of which, and as well as the Men's Anonymous Water Buffalo meeting, maybe we'll start calling it the Water Buffalo meetings, Trev. I like that.
Good.
We got a Water Buffalo meeting coming up, which means for patrons and channel members, we're doing a Zoom hang this coming Saturday at 1 p.m. Eastern. And and they're always fun. And we show off gear to each other. We talk like this, except everybody has a chance. And it's a little more unfiltered, we'll say, because it's not publicly broadcast.
That's right.
Yes, Eddie, you got the reference. Yeah. We had a meeting on New Year's Eve. We figured we'd just hang out for those who didn't have any plans. That started at 9 p.m. Eastern. I jumped off at 1 a.m. and then he kept her going till 4:15 a.m. Eastern. 7+ hours. So.
Yeah, I think we were up to 14, 15 people there at one point, and it's cool.
Yep.
We get to...
Yeah, and it was probably 20 plus throughout the evening because people came and left, and then people came and then they came back. Okay, Grandpa. I guess I would be. I kind of host these things. Yep. You can watch channel members fall asleep during hangs. I'm not talking to you, Billy. I remember John, ZD351, fell asleep on one. But then again, he's in Australia, so it made sense. And then I'm not saying Paul McNary fell asleep before I jumped off the other night, Trev. But the cat was definitely asleep, and he wasn't moving any more than the cat was.
He's got a pretty comfy chair.
I forgot that in the other room, Mark. I'm going to have that post-show. I totally forgot, and then when I was setting up. Wouldn't Possum Lodge be more appropriate? I suppose, yeah.
We have buffalo. Some of them are in water.
Well,
that's right.
Thomas
Buffalo.
is in Buffalo. He'll be underwater once all that snow melts. Ryan was there till his back gave out. My hip was killing me.
He was there for most of the night. It was great to hang out.
Yeah, it was great.
Putting the faces to the names is so cool.
Yeah, and that's the other cool that you get to put all these faces, the names, as Trev said, and pretty much most of the channel members you see in the chat right now have all jumped on at least once. Like T. Ricky, he jumps on for a bit, usually at the start, to say hey, and then his internet caps out on him because he's out in the middle of nowhere. Whew. All I know, Trev, I know he's out in the middle of nowhere because he's got farm machinery, right? But it's that kind of farm machinery. It's like going to a little rock quarry and then going out to Alberta where they got the big machinery. And so the same thing. He's got farm machinery that looks like it, I don't know, feel like combines entire fields in a minute and a half. I don't know. They're huge. I don't know how they get there. I think they probably have to build them on site because they're as big as a house. And he's just like, yeah, I'm just a farmer. I'm like, wait, are you feeding the state? Because you got serious equipment there.
I think we might have to change the hats for members.
You don't need copyright, Trev.
Fair enough. Hannah Bart will be checking us down.
Yeah. I don't need Big Cartoon getting involved.
Who knows how far up the chain they're owned by Coke, probably.
Nice, Jason.
Nestle.
Surfy says, Ben, you don't have farm machinery or animals? No. I like living rurally, but I don't need to take advantage of the nature surrounding me. I leave that to the professionals. Although, the dream is to have that awesome internet connection, but in a cabin out in the woods. 2-room. Cabin for me to live in, the other cabin for the gear to live in, the other room for the gear to live in. Yes. That'd be awesome.
ultimately, I want to kind of have the Fonzarelli situation where you got like the garage downstairs and you got the loft upstairs, and mine would have a fireman pole to go from upstairs to downstairs.
Well, see, that's the other option, because if and when Dad passes, I may just head over to Amanda's place. So we were talking about that, because especially as their kids get older and stuff. She's like, and she's down with it and stuff. Surf asks, how's my dad doing? Spirits are good. Legs are getting worse, so he's really having mobility issues, and the Parkinson's is still full on Parkinson's. Yeah. So unfortunately, but spirits are amazing. God,
doing a hell of a job of fighting back and keeping it at bay, so to speak.
Well,
still,
it's
never going to go away, right?
Yeah, and we've talked off air, like, it's again lifestyle choice. Try to remember what's on air and what's off air. But people have asked, and I remember saying the other day, honestly, we were lucky to have him last Christmas a year ago. So the fact he made it through all of 2022, it's just unfortunately his body's giving up on him. So, but thank you for asking. Do appreciate it. Thanks, Keith. So, yeah, if you want to get to know my dad better, for those who don't know, he was a musician for a number of years. And if you go back on the channel or just do a search like Father's Day Special or my name and Father's Day Special, they'll come up. And we did 4, I think, shows at least.
Yeah.
Did you see the new electronic gloves used for Parkinson's treatment? I have not, Craig. Have a good one, River Docs. 80 degrees. If you weren't such a nice gentleman, I'd give you the finger too over that statement. But I can't complain. It's about freezing here in January, so I am not complaining. But have a good one, my friend. Let's see here. Keith Campbell says some of my favorite shows were those Father's Day shows. Well, I appreciate that, Keith. Yeah. Some of the earlier ones when Dad had that little bit more pep, if you will, Trev. It was like, all right, who do you want me to rip now? Yes. Okay.
Okay. The hats are $25.
What's that?
You can buy a water buffalo hat. They're $25 at the Halloween store.
Really?
The same.
I may have to.
And they're not exactly the same as the one depicted in the cartoon, so copyright can suck it.
So yeah, what else we got going on here?
Yeah, jeepers weepers.
Keep the show going. We usually wrap up about now, but just in case Pete pops on.
We gotta give him the.
Watch as we go off air, and then Pete jumps into the green room just as we're into the show. I'm like, well, hey, Trev, you want to meet Pete? So yes, thank you, folks, for being patient on that. Still got 79 people watching, which is awesome. Monvich says, I bet Richie Rankin of Tyler would love to come on here or do a video with you for the channel. They're cool guys. Really, I would love to find out. Yeah, that's a whole story. I know a bit about, because RJ did the video when he got his Tyler. Some of the backstory, how they would mod guitars back in the day for the session players, like Luke and Dan Huff and such, and Michael Nielsen's done some work talking about him. But I wasn't aware until recently. I'm like, oh, I kind of remember those ugly big headstock things, but now I don't really care about the headstock. The headstock has more than offset the awesomeness of the rest of the thing. Mm-hmm. Billy said everyone on the Zoom call wearing one would be the best thing ever. I like it. All right, here's the deal, Trev. You can attend 3 Zoom calls without a hat, but by the 4th one, you better have a hat. Oh, I wish, Keith. Unfortunately, I'm not the type of player that would warrant sending a guitar like that to demo, because I don't really play it still, but aspire to, and I think it'll help inspire me, which I hope at $9,000 it would. But one day.
To have the Canucks with guitars embossed on there would be just extra.
Maybe, I don't know, maybe at best, because I know they watch on replay, Trev. Maybe I'll just throw it out into the universe. Maybe Martin could figure out the Tyler wiring harness and let us know. That'll, he doesn't have to do it to a guitar, but at least find out what the deal is and let us know.
Up his alley. Martin's really good with a soldering iron and wirings. And
he's my wiring guy. He's my wiring guy. I really wish he was closer than Austria. Just saying.
Right.
Although then again, I bet he's not all that much further from me than you are, Trev. The way the world works.
Probably get a cheaper plane ticket to Europe than you can to the West Coast. Same for us. I mean, it was last time I looked, cheaper to fly to Amsterdam than it was to fly to Toronto.
Crazy.
The Amsterdam dream is kind of faded away.
Check out the Tyler exploding headstock design. You may like it better. Either way, I kind of, it's so 80s. That's why I like it too. I don't know. It's grown on me, I guess. I don't know. But I will check that out. BC Rich, you do need one of those Pope hats. You need all the Pope hats. So what else do we have to discuss? Anything else new and exciting? Let me think. Nope. Eddie asks, Trev, are you near Vancouver?
Yep.
I am not.
Still kind of considered part of the Pacific Northwest from your perspective.
Oh, yeah.
If it wasn't for border hassles, I'd get to Seattle in 2 hours.
It's not bad because it takes me 2 hours to get to Toronto.
Mm-hmm.
Assuming the traffic's good. If there's any accidents. Anyone own or played Music Man guitars? I'm going to check out a Sabre this week, trying to talk the price down if I like it. Surfbee says, Sabres are nice. Mike Bradley, I know, has a Sabre. He likes it. I do have a Music Man.
Funny you should ask.
Nope. Almost grabbed the EVH. It's the pearlescent tuners. That's what... Yeah. I have this Axis that I love.
That's such nice quilting on that. Or flame, I guess. Same thing, right?
Flame and a lot of bird's eye, actually.
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah, which is separate. Yeah, at the back, there's some bird's eye. Well, actually, it shows up better on camera. That's the weird thing. It actually shows... Usually it gets all washed out, but it's actually more washed out in person than... Yeah, there's a lot in there. That's a U.S. made. I don't remember what year it is. 2014? No. Is it that new? 2014, 2015? I don't know. There's video on it on the channel.
Still 8 years old.
That's not and I bought it used a few years ago. Hardtail, because I don't need a wiggle. I have a wiggle stick on them. 5-way selector switch, so it's got like the Ibanez wiring. Error Norton and a tone zone. Don't ask me which one's which. I don't know. I just know they pair them together, Trev.
Yeah.
Nice style choice. I think the Error Norton is the neck and the tone zone's in the bridge.
Sure, we'll go with that.
Yes, Eddie. Fixed bridge.
Proven wrong.
String through. A little bit of buckle rash, as you can tell. Just a little. Other than that, pretty damn clean. And I could probably buff that out. Could I buff that out? I could buff out most of that. Takes fingerprints real well. Yeah. It's See you, Unbelievable. Have a good one, my friend.
So if a fella's a mod and he types something that's suspect, it still gets flagged, huh?
Really?
Oh, no, sorry. I was confused. It was BC Rich saying by unfucking believable. Yeah, so I digress. Remember, not a mod. Okay. Funny how the algorithm tags that. It's really built in the way of gibberish. Maybe that's why.
Anybody else want to see anything while I'm up? No? All right. Well, if anybody does, let me know. Anybody else, especially anybody that's new watching, if you want to see a guitar, let me know. We can do guitar show off time. I'm more than happy. Typo earlier, you can probably get a Tyler for 6 to 7K ship, unless you're very close. So go to new one unless you can find what you use. I don't know. I wonder if there's any Canadian dealers for Tylers. That's a question.
We go back to that website, see? I'm in my history.
So, Ben, when you practice/play, what are your go-to songs, i.e. like a set list? I've got 4 or 5 songs noodling around in my head that I'm working on of my own. Hey, Lauren. You didn't miss much. We're still waiting on Pete, hopefully soon. He's busy, hopefully soon, yes. Hey there, fell asleep watching TV, so I'm way late to the fun. Somebody should invent a buckle pad that protects guitars from buckle rash. Yeah. Or we stop wearing hubcaps as belt buckles. Of course, I still wear a big belt buckle, Trev, that has worn the backs of many, to the point where my belt buckle is worn down. It's hit the backs of so many guitars. What's your favorite guitar you own? Marsha Murray asked. And Stephen Holtzinger. So my favorite to play, we'll call it my number one. So the 1B is the Music Man that I just showed you. See you, Billy. Get some sleep. I do need an Explorer at some point, Ryan. I know.
Have you heard of a place in Ottawa called Lauzon? Lauzon Music on Wall?
Hey, John. There you are. Good to see you, my friend. So this would be basically my number one because I bought it for a specific reason to cover a lot of bases gigging, which it does. It's got coil tap. These are Fender blacktop pickups, they call them. And honestly, Trev, it's the only one I've seen that has one black bobbin and one chrome bobbin, for lack of a better term. Well, right? Oh, there we go.
Flat black, chrome black.
Yeah. Well, no, actually, it's just showing up way shinier on camera, but it's just a plain black bobbin and then, a chrome plastic bobbin for the other one. I did put roller saddle bridge on it, or roller saddles, whatever. You know what I mean. Got Tesi Switch in it as well. And this is a 2015 made in Mexico Tele that, although they were asking over $800 for it back in 2015. So it was the most expensive made in Mexico Tele they had in there. Oh yeah, and this is a prototype switch plate I got from PTM Guitars, aka Brad Guitar Miller. There we go. And if you notice, the selector's on an angle, Trav. It's not straight across. So, which I don't know. I kind of dig. I don't know. I don't really notice it, but I like it.
Okay, so there's 3 Tyler guitars in Ottawa.
John, it's not Rolling Tom. But I bought a 100-pack of pinup decals and just stuck stuff over the years.
The one you want.
Yeah. How much?
$8,499.95 at this place in Ottawa.
No super chats, folks. We only need to raise $8,500.
And enough gas money to get to Ottawa.
Other reason I like this, I believe it is a rosewood fretboard. It's a very dark fretboard.
I like it.
Also, small frets. It's got vintage-sized frets, which I lucked out there. See you, Matthew. Have a good one, my friend. Yeah. Has a belly carve, which I don't really care one way or the other. But yeah, and this thing I played a lot of gigs on. So that now favorite guitar, not favorite to play, but favorite guitar. That's something else. Matthew, before you go, if you want to check out. Because this would be my old man's guitar, aka my guitar now. It was Arctic White guitar. It started to yellow a touch, but not like this thing. Because this thing underneath the pickguard is the same color as the body. And this would be old man's 67 Tele, which he just wore out that fretboard.
Yeah.
It's just worn out.
Now, are those still the original frets?
No. This is the second set, or possibly even third that he wore out. I asked him about it, but he started coming up with numbers. I'm like, that's not the stories I remember, Trev. It was 2 or 3. It wasn't 5.
Much wear on the wood that the frets would have definitely, probably, at least.
Oh, it needed a fret job when he gave it to me. Like, these frets are very dented and and to the point where they do corrode fairly easy because they've been worn down so much.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're very low to begin with, which and I'm pretty sure it's still a 7 1/4 radius because I can still see finish on the fretboard. So because a lot of times when they would refret it, they'd switch it to 9 1/2.
Okay, right.
Sometimes without even telling the guy. But it's got EMGs in it because that's what the old man installed in it, and I dig it. It does a thing.
Yeah,
I dig it.
Is it noiseless because of that?
Yes, there you go. There's a good shot of the checking. Look at all that checking. The whole thing is like that. Oh, yeah.
Got some.
Oh, yeah, and like that's the wear. That's what happens when you play wearing a sports jacket all the time.
Sure.
Yeah, what do you mean you can't bend on a 7 1/4 radius? How high do you need to bend?
Mm-hmm.
That chokes out a bit. Let's turn up the distortion anyway so you won't even hear it, Trev. Don't worry about it.
Get a whammy pedal.
I have no idea, sir, for me. Because it's weird, it used to be it wasn't worth much because it was in player condition, aka rough. This is a nitro. This was the last year they did nitro because it's 67. But yeah, all the checking. And then plus it's been refretted, so that affects value. I have the original pickups for it. Actually, the original bridge pickup out of this went into my 71 for a while because it was kind of weak. The original pickups for it.
Mm-hmm.
The neck pickup had been swapped out a few times. Dad would wear them out after every few years. I think because he played mostly on the neck, Trev, and that's why he had to replace it. And for playing over top and just sweating over that, it just
corrosion.
Yeah, because the finish is flake. The chrome wants to flake off the ashtray around here. It's she's been ridden hard and put away wet multiple times. But as Dad says, it's my $300 guitar.
Yeah.
But I have no idea what they're worth because I've just been really lucky in life because I have this, and then as the other one that Trev likes. And we got this one, which is a 71, which I've modified as well. Everything you can undo. I don't do anything permanent, Trev. Because ironically enough, a modern 6-saddle bridge, so you can fully intonate it, was a direct bolt-on replacement for the original bridge.
Okay.
I believe it's got the original electronics all still in here, with the exception of I installed a 4-way switch. And again, I have all the original parts. I put a 4-way switch in so I can get the out of phase thing, make it sound stratty in one of the positions. So, nozzle. Pickups have both been replaced because the neck pickup didn't want to work when I got it. The bridge pickup was weak as hell, so hey, why not design a signature set of Tele pickups, Trev? So this has the Reno Fin Workhorse set in it, which is basically a 53 Tele spec pickup set. Oh. Blackguard Tele pickup sound. Why not? Rosewood fretboard again, small frets. This was a gift from my cousin Brad, because when my cousin Brad, who Hip Metalworks knows, came to live with us, he was in high school. He was a rocker, Trev, and he was into music like we all were.
Yeah.
He came to live with us, and he went, "What's this thing?" Well, actually, with that one. And my dad's Tele was the first Tele he ever played, fell in love with Teles, started collecting Teles in the early 80s, I want to say. And we had been talking, and I was out gigging at the time, and he said, do you still have... Oh, actually, the nut's really high, but I think the backbone may have come out of this thing. It's had 11s on it for a while. Sitting for about 8 months with 11s on it. See you, Mark. So I said, yeah, I got Dad's Tele, but I don't obviously gig with it because of sentimental value if it ever got, ripped off. And he said, what's your address? And he insisted on, as I guess a thank you for Dad inspiring him. He says, play it, fix it up. It needs work, but it's a 71 Tele. Play it, love it, and then, give it a good home. And so I've been, ever since I've been, sorry, it's already got the second nut in it, which really, I noticed it's way too wide because I remember putting it in there temporarily just to try to get it playable because it's had a backbone in the neck. So I have another neck for it, so I can just put this neck aside.
Does it have 10s on it?
No, I put 11s on this thing.
Oh, there you go, even better. And part of the reason why I like that one is the fretboard. I prefer the dark fretboards to the maple fretboard. And for me, it's cosmetic because I've spent very little time on it.
Huh. I'm going to have to check this neck out. Because the truss rod isn't engaged, basically, to keep it. Because for the watch back about a year on the channel, I went through a whole thing to try to get this thing working.
Around the idea that maybe you should send that to Dave and have him put his little press on it. Maybe not necessary.
So not a lot of soloing with the 11. Hey, there's Charles. And this one's got a lot of checking. Fun fact, within spec, Trev, I personally like the lower horn where the pick guard actually comes off the corner of the guitar. And the pick guard isn't warped.
Yeah.
Someone got kind of aggressive.
Kind of a little wide.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you'd think they would have used a template, but the guy was probably just sanding in here, just get just right and just giving her and whoops. And then apparently someone must have played as a lefty at one time because they drilled a hole in the lower horn for a strap button. Well, you got to remember, before these were vintage, Trev, they were just old.
Yeah. So that happened in the early 70s sometime. Somebody wanted to be Jimi Hendrix on a Telecaster, I guess. I mean, the controls and everything would be so...
But this thing is so light. See it, Cushman? This thing is so light. I got to weigh it because it is so light. And I was so happy because I'm like, I could play this all night. Mm-hmm. And I have gigged. I gigged with this thing shortly after I got it to the point where I don't even think I replaced the strings. I said, screw it. I'm playing it with the old strings on it. The G string was buzzing like a son of a bitch. So what I do, Trev? Ripped off a piece of Buddy's cigarette pack and stuffed the paper under the guitar string.
Shim under the string, yeah.
Yeah, to shim it temporarily. Turns out later, found out the nut was broken. That's why the string was buzzing, because it broke under there. But, so I played a whole show with no setup or anything, just out of the box, because I was like, screw it. And Mark Taft, who had just left, he was the roadie that night, and he's just like, don't do this to me. Don't bring a classic guitar because he's having a mental breakdown because he's got to keep the peepers on at all times. I said, don't worry about it. He says, why? I said, most people are going to think it's a modern replica or a pawn shop special series replica. Nobody's going to think you actually brought out a 50-year-old guitar.
Get like a little water sticker to put Squire on the headstock, right?
But yeah, so that's the 71 that I love as well.
Like
and its nickname is Lime because was Brad's nickname, or is Brad's nickname.
No Tesi Switch on that one, I noticed.
No, haven't got around to that, but because when the pickups were installed, it just happened Travis was down for a visit at the time for Reno Fin, and he's like, hey, can a fellow borrow an amp for his hotel room because I'm bored? And I was like, yes. So I gave him an amp, some pedals, patch cables, and I'm like, you want to throw those pickups that you brought down into the guitar while you're here? And like, you bring your soldering iron? He's like, I did. I'm like, sweet, here you go.
Perfect.
And then he brought it over the next day. What's up, Poo Ninja? Legend?
Howdy, howdy.
That's not in tune. Stop doing that, Dad. Yeah. Mazel show off the fourth telly.
We're doing a thing.
Oh, great. The Christmas lights are attached to it. All right. Well, Christmas is over, so we can take those down. Easy.
Okay.
There we go. All right. This one's currently still in need of some service. Jesus, watch where you walk. This would be my signature guitar.
Right.
Which does have a Tesi Switch in it.
Excellent.
This one also has a pedal to the metal plate, although my signature guitar doesn't have a pedal to the metal plate. Why, Trev? Because Travis at Reno Fin also has a CNC machine, so he could just make them. So, again, 4-way switch. This one has a top hat instead of the soup can, you may notice.
Right.
Why are you a little loose? What's up with that? I was like, does that push-pull? No.
You see how that happens?
It does have a prototype stacked P90 in it to cut down on the noise a bit because it's an overwound P90. Basically a Fender modern Telly bridge. Mahogany, Honduran mahogany body. It's the only thing that isn't Canadian about it. Sourced Canadian hardware and parts, Trev. Like pots are Canadian. Whatever. Canadian. Wherever possible. Canadian maple neck. Unfinished. For her pleasure.
Not baked. Doesn't smell.
Nope. Just smells like meat. Yeah, unfinished because that's the way I wanted it. And he's like, oh, let me put some... He's like, I got to put a stain or something, you know? I'm like, well, you can do whatever you want. It's getting sanded off. If that's the case. So, because I did some more further sanding on the neck after I got it. It wasn't quite where... Like, I wanted a little higher grit, but not too polished, so... Sure. Which is fine. And then once he felt it, he went, oh, okay. And he gets it. So the new one's out. Stainless frets. They're not quite as small as I want, but not everybody can play frets as small as mine. So we made a bit of a compromise at the factory level, Trev. Got to make it playable for the masses. So, and these come in at, I think they're still under $2,000 Canadian. And the handmade, or not even up to pitch. Slight curve. String through. Huh? Used to be called the Devil Burst. I don't know if it's still called the Devil Burst or not.
I kind of like that burst. It's subtle, but...
Yeah, so do I. And the pick guard. It's kind of cool.
Yeah. Kind of a Batman thing.
Yeah. So, yeah. That'd be that.
If only it had an ebony fretboard.
No, it is a two-piece, though, right? Because if you notice, no skunk stripe in the back.
Yeah.
So, it is a maple on maple. And as you can tell, it takes Hmong well.
Don't wash it off because that's going to screw up the tone completely. We learned that lesson.
We did an experiment with that.
That Hmong has tone in it.
Tone Hmong. Yeah. Oh, and and just because, if you too want a custom looking guitar, talk to Charles75N in the chat, and he can do something like this to you for you.
I think that finish is so fabulous. I love that pattern.
Yeah, I dig it.
Dig 'em, dig 'em, dig 'em.
And for those tuning in late, we were hoping Pete would join us. I don't think he's going to join us at this point. I'm just going to say we'll go for another few minutes and then call it a night. We were hoping Pete would join us, but unfortunately he got busy. Did he text or anything?
He should pop in the next 15 minutes.
Should you never know.
I wouldn't hold your breath.
Yeah, I totally lost track of time. All of a sudden I was thinking, what is it, 8:45? No, it's 9:45. Dang.
Coming up on the 2-hour mark.
See you, Preston. And hello to
everybody for hanging around anyway. It's been fun hanging out with you guys.
Yeah.
Ryan likes his rosewood.
I'm hungry too.
Are you?
I did fish and chips for dinner, but apparently not enough.
Preston, are you leaving? Because I'm not. Oh, Preston.
Patrick asked, do you have any bass guitars? Yes.
I actually have one of those.
I got this one, which is your fancy bass, right?
I like it.
They are passive pickups, although they look active, but they're passive pickups.
Uh-huh.
2 volumes, 4-band EQ, because if you look, they're stackables.
Oh, yeah. Ring around the collar.
Yeah. Pretty light, small neck. Like, whew, you get down to that region, that's small.
It is.
Oh, I'll be dipped. I do have a guitar with a volute. This has a volute.
There you go.
That relates to the Zoom hang on New Year's Eve because I didn't think I owned anything with a volute. This has flat wounds on it, apparently. Forgot it has flat wounds on it. Yeah, and then, so we got that, which is, what's this, a Sound Gear? Yeah. Sound Gear by Ibanez. I can't remember which model. What does it say here? There we go, SR800. Does that help anybody? SR800?
BC Rich probably knows what it is.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, he's our bass guy, right? He's the in-house bass guy.
Yeah. It's green.
I
need to replace the jack. Yeah, I have a replacement jack. I haven't got around to it because I don't want to deal with a bullet jack.
Sure.
And that's soldering, Trev.
Yeah. And don't forget to put the washer and the nut on this time before you do
right.
the soldering.
And it's soldering, and it's me and Steve Anderson. Steve Anderson! Yes.
Cheers.
Also, so this is a Sound Gear. Oh. Easy. Oh, there we go. Then we also have another Ibanez bass, which you can kind of tell is their take on an Ernie Ball Stingray, except different shaped body, obviously. But wow, this has a layer of dust on it. Yep. Wider neck, but then again, a little deeper, but not much. Pretty narrow at this end too. This one does not have flat wounds. It's got volume, tone, and a blend between the two.
Yep.
And this humbucker really puts out. It's rosewood fretboard, 24 frets, because, you need 24 frets on a bass.
If you're Jaco Pasterius.
Possibly the only instrument I own with 24 frets, Trev, ironically enough, and it's a bass. Truss rod nut does not work.
Uh-oh. So it is what it is. To answer Modern Vintage's question, Ben Coombs, do you guys pay that much more for USA gear in Canada than we do in the US? That Tyler guitar that I showed for $500 are going for $7,000 in the States. The difference, Modern Vintage, is the dollar and our exchange rate.
The exchange rate, and there is a slight surcharge. There is a very slight one, but it's like 5% or less.
62. So actually, they're cheaper here.
Yep.
It's almost worth the drive to come over the border and buy the Canadian one. Because of the way the dollar goes up and down and stuff. I mean, you want to see crazy. We were at parity there back for the Olympics, 2008, 2010.
Anyways, that's my basis. They even did a 5-bolt like an Ernie ball, but without the plate.
I think with bases, it's got to be extra heavy duty, right? Everything's being bigger.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. RD300 road gear. Road gear. I got a sound gear and a road gear. Studio, touring, right? Sound gear and studio, road gear for the road.
The bass we have is a Yamaha. I think I got it for $300. Bought it for the kid because she wanted to have a bass. Haven't spent much time with it.
Easy. Oh, yeah. You just hit each other, relic each other. That's fine. That's fine. It's fine. Easy.
I think I'm going to drink my Caesar that I was waiting to drink on camera.
Yeah, you should probably grab that as we get ready to wrap things up here. I did not talk about the new DLR disco song. I didn't know there was a new DLR. I don't want to know about a new DLR disco song, actually. Rico B? Nope.
Yeah, unless he's referring to that, just that recent re-release that he did.
Brad Miller says, you have a guitar with a dirty or worn jack? No way. It's usually just dirty pots.
That's Modern Vintage, you may be right.
I bet I haven't adjusted my amps in so long. I bet you they're all just frozen in place. All the knobs on my amps are frozen in place. I would not doubt. Yeah, that bass is just like Rickenbacker. The truss rod is a cosmetic feature. Yeah, I think so. It's somebody got in there. I think they were using a drill bit to adjust the truss rod or something because it's just smooth in there. Just it's gone. So I got to replace the truss rod nut, which means I got to remove the truss rod nut with an easy out, which is never easy.
Yeah, that name is definitely misleading.
Yeah. And then, but I don't use it necessarily, so I'm not in a real rush.
Wow.
And the only bass amp that I have right now that's up and running is that little PV right there, which is what? Max 110 bass. Because I think it's one 10-inch speaker and one 10-inch power section, or 10-watt power section. Exactly. I do all the knob adjusting on the pedals on the pedal board. So, yeah. On that note, I don't know. Do we have anything left to discuss, Trev?
No. Anything? If anybody's got any last-minute questions or points to bring up,
we'll probably wrap things up, and then we'll come back this Sunday with maybe JP Page 2, or a backup if Jim can't do the
else?
show. I have an idea for a backup, Trev.
Okay.
I have an idea.
It's always good to have an extra card up your sleeve.
Yeah.
Of course, the members and the Patreons from
This Saturday. The Water Buffalo
the
meeting.
Water Buffalo, I guess we've decided.
1 p.m. Eastern until we don't know how long that'll go. We'll see. And hit the thumbs up if you haven't already, and of course subscribe if you're new, especially 2 hours in. How can you not? I'm just saying.
Yeah. Right.
And we do apologize that Pete could not. I gotta remember to change the title of that right after we're done. So we do apologize.
You're gonna get a lot of harassment.
I'm not gonna. If you want, you can razz Pete in his live stream this Sunday in his channel. If you want, but just don't be a total dick about it. Give him a bit of a ribbing. We're like, hey, we're all hanging out at Ben's Monday. Would have been nice if you showed up.
Missed you in Canada, eh?
Yeah. No, he didn't, unfortunately, Lauren. We had hoped, but good crowd tonight. Apparently, clickbait in the title, I guess. That'll do it. Oh, Charles reporting in, just picked up a 4-pack of Mexican Coke. Well, Charles, I was given a gift today of a BC Coke. That's right, Trev, a British Columbia Coke.
Is it different?
You're like, I'm not aware of that. So apparently, it's a raspberry Coke.
Oh. I'm not a
That's apparently pleasant. Mark Taft gave me a bottle because he bought a 4-pack of BC Coke. Cane sugar in it, though.
Interesting.
Hello, smallmouth guy. We're just wrapping things up. Unfortunately, Pete didn't make it, but we will reschedule. Oh, we'll reschedule, Trev. We'll guilt him into that. We'll make. Yeah. If the BC Mafia has anything to say about the 3 in the chat. Come on! So, I'm curious to try this Coca-Cola. Apparently, it's really good. It's part of the BC line, not like the Quebec one that's maple infused. Do you like root beer, the fancy kind? Elbarge says. Well, Elbarge, I do soda pop tastings on the channel as well, if you didn't already know. And I do have a super boutique-y root beer coming up soon that's so fancy it came in a box. As well as a bottle in a box. It's not a box of root beer. It's a bottle in a box. Yeah, not maple. And I'm drinking on my usual Monday night go-to beverage the last few months, an A&W root beer, because it's nice and thick and keeps the back of the wet neck all wet so I can talk.
Is the root beer still a thing? I haven't seen one for a while.
Kind of. I think they still have the merch at the restaurants.
Right.
I am not sure.
I haven't seen how many yet. You used to have that song, right? That dum 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 dum.
I remember in public school, we're doing some track and field day, and the root beer bear showed up. And so I walked over to a girl that was in my class, whose family owned the local A&W franchise at the time. I went, "That's your dad, isn't it?" She went, "Yeah." Oh, okay. Because we were in like grade 5 or 6, so you can't, it wasn't like, oh, the young kids, we're like, yeah, the young kids like it. So
we'd already figured out Santa by that point.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, myths had been busted. So yeah, I for about a year now, Elbarge, I've been doing soda pop tastings once a week, and they're international. I think I've done 8-10 different countries at this point, Trev. I'm trying to think. I've done obviously Canada, US, Mexico, Guyana, Jamaica, Trinidad and Tobago, Libya, or was it Lebanon? One of them, Lebanon, I think. England, Scotland, Ireland. Brazil. I don't know how many countries that is.
both hands anyway.
I'm surprised I remember that many countries based off lifestyle choices, Trev.
Well, see, some of that stuff that you've learned when you're a kid that sticks with you. I could tell you my phone number for when I was.
Well, no, because all of a sudden, yeah, it was like
I can't tell you my own phone number on my cell phone because I haven't actually looked at it in 5 years.
Well, that was, I wanted to stop in and say hi to my aunt and uncle that live outside, about halfway between my sister and me, right? I don't remember how to get to their house. I remember their phone number. Don't remember how to get to their house because I never really had to drive to the house a whole lot, and I haven't driven out there in ages. Because the last few times I've been out there, again, one of the parents had driven or something like that. And,
Sure.
yeah. So on that note, he's been Trev, I've been Ben, you've been you, we've been us. Hope to see you guys on Saturday for the off-air hang. Click the join button. There's various tiers of support. You know, whatever you can afford is great. Helps support the channel, keeps the lights on and strings on the guitars and stuff. Speaking of which, thanks again, Brad, for the strings and everything else. And so, yeah, I got to shoot a Soda Pop video tomorrow. So I don't know.
You got some choices.
I could do the fancy root beer. No, it's not in the fridge yet. I could put it in the fridge. I could do one of the Coke variants. I still have something UK based. I have some citrusy ones that I really like to almost wait till summer. I missed out on having them in the summer, like mango pops and stuff like that, Trev. That's more of a summer thing, right? Which meant, Philippines. I've done Filipino drinks. And yeah, so on that note, hold those doors open. Let Charles's wife in heading in traffic because she's on her way home to hug Charles. And she's real. And happy tone chasing. And don't litter.
Right.
Dale at the end.
Dale.
Awesome to see Dale as always. And I got to change the title on this. And, you know.
Yeah.
He had a hard time on Sunday in his chat, not here. Riff. Awesome. Riff at the end. Riff is another. Dale at the end and Riff at the end. I see Riff at the beginning. Yeah. Riff. Dale Palmer is real. Exactly, Terry. Dale Palmer is real. Riff is real. And why is Charles' wife driving around here? She's lost, John. That's a good question. Why is she driving around Melbourne, Australia, when she's supposed to be outside Austin, Texas? I don't know. Be good to each other. Let's have a much better 2023 than we had 2022 because Mazel. And yeah, let's go with that. What am I going to hit? I don't know. Choose one, Ben. Let's go with... Yeah, avoid copyright.